Hello everyone and welcome to Yorktown High School, where the Bishop O'Connell Knights are here to wrestle against the Yorktown Patriots. This is part of the Arlington Quad, so while O'Connell and Yorktown are wrestling on this mat, Wakefield and Washington Lee will be wrestling on the other mat. Well, we started our meet off with a couple of forfeits, Jason Kappel for the Patriots and Chris St. George for the Knights, both winning their matches by forfeit. But now Talha Farooq for the Patriots and Michael Gianelli for the Knights are ready to wrestle. This is the third meet of the morning, and the wrestlers from all four schools have put on quite a show so far. The annual quad hosted by the four high schools in rotation. And this year it is Yorktown's turn. Both wrestlers very aggressive with their strategy. Farooq seems to be coming on a little bit stronger right now, but he's finding it very difficult to take down Gianelli. And Farooq is attempting to pin Gianelli. He's got him on the back, but he can't quite turn him. So Gianelli forced to play defense early on here in the match. Both wrestlers, so a lot of footwork, a lot of movement. And we're running out of time in the first period. And that is the end of the first period. So Farooq and Gianelli coming out very aggressively. Started the second period, but we're having a little trouble, technical difficulties with the clock. The official will sort out the clock with the scorer's table. There are two clocks running. We have two matches going on simultaneously, so on this mat, they've got to work the one clock. Keep track of the 2 minute periods. So in the first period, Farooq for the Patriots is ahead in points. Top of Gianelli, but Gianelli's back on his feet and not really in danger of a pin at that point. Talha Farooq, though, stays aggressive. Michael Gianelli, good defense. And the pin. So Talha Farooq came out aggressively. Great effort by Michael Gianelli, but the pin goes to Talha Farooq, and Yorktown takes the match. All right, coming up now we'll have John Edmond for the Bishop O'Connell Knights. And he will be wrestling Kyle Callan on the Yorktown Patriots. You see Farooq getting congratulated by his teammates on the Yorktown bench. So it'll be Edmond for the Knights and Callan for the Patriots. They're wrestling in the 126-pound class. We started this match, the rotation started at the heaviest weight classes, but the opening rounds were a couple of forfeits. So the only action in this match has been at the lower end of the weight scale. John Edmond, very aggressive, coming out against Kyle Callan. Callan playing some defense right now. Edmond trying to drive him with his legs down onto the mat, but now they are wandered outside the circle. So we will bring things back into the circle, or the center of the mat. Callan will start in the down position. And Edmond has got Callan at risk of being pinned. He's not able to turn him though, Callan though. Keeping himself stuck to the floor. Edmond tries to turn him. We are less than a minute to go in this first period. We're down now to about 5 seconds left to go in the period. Wrestlers are wandering off the mat. And that is time. So neither wrestler able to achieve the pin. And Kyle Callan has the choice for the start of this period, so he's going to choose the up position. John Edmond will begin in down position. So this period playing out a little bit differently than the first period. The first period, Kyle Callan was taken down fairly quickly and then resisted being pinned. So far in the second period, a lot of the wrestling is happening above the mat. Callan unable to be able to take down John Edmond, able to take down Kyle Callan. So both wrestlers trying to rely on their leg strength and their footwork at this point. At risk of being pinned. So far he's keeping those shoulder blades off the mat. Edmond in a very strong position right now. less than 10 seconds to go in the second period. Callan has been able to resist the pin. And that is the end of the second period. So Callan was at risk of being pinned for most of the last minute of the second period, but he was able to resist being pinned. So we'll go with third period. Edmond chooses to begin in a neutral position. And again, John Edmond has Kyle Callan down onto the mat. Callan trying to get to his feet. Edmond has had a strong position a lot of this match. Showing a lot of strength and good technique, but Kyle Callan showing a lot of defensive grit. Now he's at risk, though. Knocks himself over. They'll get back to their feet. All right, the officials had to sort out some issues. And John Edmond winning on points. So Edmond takes one for the Bishop O'Connell Knights. Great effort by both wrestlers. All right, next up. Hector Ortega for Yorktown. Julian Castro for Bishop O'Connell. And Castro for the Knights is in a good position. He's trying to pin Ortega. All right, back up on their feet. Again, he's got Ortega in a dangerous position. Ortega trying to resist being pinned. And there is the pin. So Julian Castro for the Bishop O'Connell Knights pins Hector Ortega for of the Yorktown Patriots. Castro came out aggressively, got into good positions, and got the pin. About a little over a minute into the first period. So Christian Marrero will win his match by default. And Scott Kurtzke will also take his match by default. Now we're back to some wrestling. We've got Alan Parker Jr. coming up to wrestle Ethan Berryman. But we want to show you the match from earlier in the day when Alan Parker Jr. for Bishop O'Connell was wrestling Jose Berengal Arroyo from the Washington Lee Generals. So Jose Berengal Arroyo gets the pin against Alan Parker Jr. But now Alan Parker Jr. is wrestling against Ethan Berryman for the Patriots. So Parker has Berryman in trouble. Parker's in a strong position, trying to turn Berryman. Berryman's been forced onto defense most of the match so far. Parker trying to get the pin. Running out of time in the period, though. And there is the pin. Berryman fighting off the pin. Couldn't come up with a ran out of time, so Alan Parker Jr. pins Ethan Berryman. Takes the win for the Bishop O'Connell Knights. All right. James Toth now is going to wrestle Lucas Degraw. We're going to show from a little bit earlier in the morning. Thomas Sheey from Washington Lee wrestling James Toth from Bishop O'Connell. This is Washington Lee, Bishop O'Connell, earlier in the morning during the first round of meets. And James Toth for the Knights, and Sheey for the Generals. So the action fell out of the ring, and the ref will bring both wrestlers back into the center. Toth and Sheey wrestling in the 152-pound weight class. Wrestlers appear to evenly matched, but Toth is at risk of being pinned. All right, Toth remains in a precarious position. She has the upper hand right now. All right, running out of time in the first period. She trying to turn to, and that is the end of the first period. So all right, so Talha gets to choose to begin this second period. He chooses to start in the up position. Ref is going to have him start again. So again, just like in the first period, Sheey in a good position, but he can't turn Talha and try to go for the pin. Talha playing good defense. All right, we'll begin again now with Talha in the up position. He has not been able to take down Thomas Sheey, though. All right, we're going to begin the wrestling again now in the neutral position. Both wrestlers appear to be very evenly matched. She was able to get advantageous positions early on in the match. But now both wrestlers seem unable to take the other one down very easily. We'll bring it back to the center of the mat. All right, we are down to under 10 seconds left to go in the second period. And that is the end of the second period. So Talha and Sheey, very evenly matched wrestlers. Seem to have similar styles. They seem to be somewhat unable to find a way to take the other one down. In a match like this, at this point, you're probably as much mentally tired as you are physically tired. Come up against a wrestler you're evenly matched against, and you just spend a lot of time trying to think how to find an opening. All right, so we'll take an official timeout. The referee sorting out something with the Washington League coach. And we'll get back to the wrestling now. We have about a minute and a half left to go in the third period. These two wrestlers seem to be very evenly matched. A lot of the action is happening off the mat. Both wrestlers trying to use their leg strength and footwork to effect the takedown. once again, they have wandered out of the circle. So we'll bring it back to the middle. I think we'll start in the neutral position. We do. That's what we do. All right. Sheey now has Toth down. Right, so the official wants to bring the action back to the center of the ring. Toth will start in the down position. No, I'm sorry, we will start in the neutral position. Like so much of this match, it is happening off the mat. All right, now we have a takedown. Sheey, he's got Toth at risk of being pinned. But Toth is putting up a great defense right now. All right, we're out of the ring again. So, a couple of evenly matched wrestlers. Spending a lot of time trying to drive each other down, and they're just driving themselves out of the circle. And have to go back to the center to restart. All right, Sheey has Toth down again now. So we have only about 10 seconds left to go in this third period. Great effort by both wrestlers. And that is the end of 3 periods. So after 3 periods, Thomas Sheey for the Generals picked up the win on points. And now Toth, in the third meet of the day, is taking on Lucas Degraw from the Yorktown Patriots. So James Toth for the Knights, Lucas Degraw for the Patriots. And the match starts off very similarly to how Sheey and Toth went at it for 3 full periods. Wrestlers seem to be evenly matched. Trying to effect a takedown. Finding it hard to do. And once again, off the mat. So Degraw and Toth are wrestling in a very similar way that Sheey and Toth wrestled earlier in the morning. And once again, outside of the circle. So a lot of leg strength, a lot of footwork from Toth and Degraw. Only about 7 seconds left to go in the first period. And that is the end of the first period. James Toth, Lucas Degraw. Neither wrestler able to score any points in the first period, so things are even. And we seem to be having trouble with the clock. Official in the scores table sorting that out. We can begin the second period now. James Toth, Lucas Degraw. Degraw for the Yorktown Patriots. Toth, the Bishop O'Connell Knights. These wrestlers will not be taken down. Both showing a lot of leg strength and balance right now. So Toth tries a lunge for a takedown on Degraw, but Degraw is able to slip out of it. We are down on the mat now. Degraw has the upper hand, but Toth is not really in any danger, immediate danger of being pinned. Degraw trying to turn Toth. And we've only got about 20 seconds left to go in the second period. And that is the end of the second period. So Toth, toward the end of the second period, is able to put Degraw in some peril of being pinned. But time ran out. All right, so it's Toth's choice to start this third period. He chose the down position to start. Both wrestlers seem exhausted. Put up a great effort in a very evenly matched contest. All right, now we're starting the third period off down on the mat. Quick takedown. Degraw trying to get back up on his feet. See both wrestlers are always slow to get up and come to the center of the ring. James Toth and Lucas Degraw putting on a hard-fought contest right now. Just sense the exhaustion from these wrestlers. Third meet of the day. Toth went 3 full periods against Washington Lee. He's almost now going 3 full periods against Yorktown. And Lucas Degraw. Some risk of being pinned, but he's able to resist it for now. 20 seconds left to go in the third period. We're down to 8 seconds. Degraw. And that is the end of 3 periods. So James Toth for the Bishop McConnell Knights. 3 full periods against Lucas Degraw for the Yorktown Patriots. And on points, it goes to Toth. Terrific effort from both wrestlers. Very evenly matched. But in the end, it goes to Toth and the Knights. Ethan McKelvin now stepping in to wrestle for the Patriots. Gabe Susinski wrestle for the Knights. Both wrestlers spending a lot of time looking for an opening. Not a lot of contact in where they're going. And now we have a takedown. Sosinski has the upper hand against McKelvin. More than a minute has passed in this first period. And Sosinski trying to pin McKelvin, but McKelvin in a good defensive position. McKelvin at risk of being pinned. Sosinski trying to pull off the pin, but McKelvin fights it off. We are down to 10 seconds left to go in the first period. And that is the end of the first period. Sosinski for the Knights, McKelvin for the Patriots. McKelvin chooses to start the second period in the down position. So Sosinski has appeared to have the upper hand in the second period. But Ethan McKelvin for the Patriots has been able to keep out of immediate risk of being pinned. McKelvin now trying to get to his feet. Sosinski keeps a good hold, but he's trying to turn McKelvin. they have wrestled right on out of the ring, so we'll go back to the center of the mat. Only about 25 seconds left to go in this second period, though. Gabe Sosinski for the Knights has been in a good position most of the second period, but unable to pin Ethan McElvain for the Patriots. And that's 2 periods gone, so Sosinski and McElvain evenly matched. This is the third meet of the day for both schools, so fatigue is probably a factor. All right, about 30 seconds into the third period. Neither wrestler able to take the other one down so far in this period. Sosinski is ahead on points at this point. McElvain will probably have to pin if he wants to come back for a win of the match. For most of this third period, the action is coming off the mat. Both wrestlers looking for an opening. I'm going to use some footwork to get in a better position, but both these wrestlers know how to put up a defensive posture. So we're under 30 seconds left to go in the third period. And now we have less than 10 seconds to go in the third period. To get the pin. So since he's going to have to rush, that's the end of the third period. So terrific match, very evenly matched wrestlers. Gabe Sosinski for the Bishop O'Connell Knights gets the win. That's the congratulations from the Yorktown coaches. Michael Gilbertson for Yorktown will be wrestling Austin Maiden for Bishop O'Connell. We are up in the 170-pound weight class. And Maiden appears to be in a little bit of trouble early on. Gilbertson has him in a good hold. Can't get him down on the mat, though. All right, now he's down on the mat, but Maiden getting back up on his feet, and we are out of the circle, so take it back to the middle. About 40 seconds into this first period. So far, Gilbertson appears to have the upper hand. Maiden back up to his feet, trying to break the hold. Maiden is able to take down Gilbertson. Gilbertson at risk of being pinned. Maiden trying to seal the deal. And the wrestlers are at the edge of the ring. They move back in, not at risk of going out of bounds. And now Austin Maiden has the upper hand, trying to pin Michael Gilbertson. And we are near the end of the first period. Maiden trying to pin Gilbertson. He's close, but time has run out in the first period. So a real back and forth battle. Both wrestlers had their strong moments in that first period. Maiden for the Knights is now ahead on points as we go into the second period. We're going to be in the second period in a neutral position. So about 40 seconds into the second period, Austin Maiden in a strong position, but Michael Gilbertson has resisted being pinned. Back to the center now. Under a minute to go in the second period. So Gilbertson is able to get Maiden in a hold. And for a takedown by Maiden. And we are close to the end of the second period. And we've gone two. Maiden has a lead on points. Both wrestlers have had strong moments in each of the periods. Maiden goes for the takedown. He's got Gilbertson on the mat, but Gilbertson in any immediate danger of being pinned. All right, they're both back up on their feet. Gilbertson tries to do it for the takedown. About a minute to go in the third period. Austin Maiden and Michael Gilbertson Now Gilbertson has made in a hold. Gilbertson's been able to make several moves and take down Maiden, but hasn't been able to come close to a pin. And we are wandering out of the, we have wandered out of the circle. So we'll come back to the center of the mat. We are down to about 10 seconds left to go in the third period. The official is sorting a point out with the two coaches. And we have agreement on the point, and so we'll go back to the wrestling with about 10 seconds left to go. Austin Maiden for the Bishop O'Connell Knights. Michael Gilbertson for the Yorktown Patriots. And I think that is the end of the third period. So it goes the distance. Gilbertson and Maiden. A terrific struggle, great effort by both wrestlers, and Maiden will win it on points. So Maiden takes one for the Knights. We have seen terrific wrestling from all four high schools all morning long here at Yorktown. We are getting near the end of the Arlington Quad, and Alex Lewis for the Patriots and Kieran O'Donovan for the Knights. This is the 182-pound class. Lewis and O'Donovan. And the official will once again sort out a point with the scorers table. And we're ready now to wrestle. And we are out of the ring. Lewis and O'Donovan, both very aggressive wrestlers. Leg strength, driving footwork. And we are once again out of the ring. So Lewis and O'Donovan trying to get each other onto the mat. And they keep driving themselves out of the circle. Lewis in a little bit of trouble. He's able to get out of the hold, though. Now Lewis has the upper hand. Now O'Donovan at risk. O'Donovan fighting off the pin. Lewis in a very strong position. And there is the pin. Alex Lewis deep into the first period is able to pin Kieran O'Donovan. So Lewis takes one for the Patriots. Great effort by both wrestlers. Great effort by all the wrestlers today. And that wraps up the Arlington Quad. Perfect wrestling from the Patriots, the Knights, and on the other mat, the Generals and the Warriors. Thanks for watching.